right, guys, welcome to tonight's live stream where we discuss the young talent, raw talent of South African rugby coming through. And it's going to be quite an interesting topic tonight as we really look into the young talent of South African rugby. Hello to everybody that's tuned in. Hope your Monday has been pretty good. As from my side, it's been really good. And yeah, I'm very chuffed to be here tonight. I'm very disappointed that I wasn't able to do the live stream on the weekend. Here in where I live, the electricity was out for the whole day. Only came back 5 minutes to 5 when the game was about to start. My PC crashed, so everything was against me on the day. And yeah, I'm pretty disappointed not to have shown you guys the commentary for that game. So before we start, guys, if you want to become a Rugby Guru legend, you can join the channel membership, and I really appreciate the support. The link is in the comment section, guys. So it's basically starting from 20 Rand up to 80 Rand, and then if you want to be a super guru, you can go ahead and really bulk it up with a 300 and something subscription either way. Thomas Wade is joining as well. Sparrow Marabilia says either Ian van Roos or Edward van der Merwe. So I do have a poll going up on my channel at the moment who I said who should become the next Springbok. I had the poll Ian van Roos, Rijlo, Edward van der Merwe and Maurice Lowe. Just 4 random guys that I think has been playing absolutely brilliant and deserving of a call-up maybe. So 42% has gone with Ian van Roos, 11% with Rijlo, 37% with Edward van der Merwe, and then 11% says Marius Lowe. So I will be ending this poll shortly, even though we've got a few votes only, because what I want to do is I want to go through every position, prop, hooker, lock, flanker, number 8, scrum half, fly half, and I want you guys to actually go ahead and vote, and at the end of the night we can select our young Springbok side or up and coming raw talent of the competition. So without a lot to do, guys, we only got 10 people watching, which is cool. I really don't mind. So let's get into this. We're basically going to start with the hooker position today, and here are the guys that I've singled out that has been playing a little bit above average and probably in the long run could be selected for Springbok selection and won't disappoint the Springboks at any given day. So first of all, I've got Vincent Chichuka, Kieran van Vuuren, Johan Grobbelaar, PJ Puerta, Manus van der Merwe, and Ilandre van Rooyen. So you guys can let me know in the comment section, maybe if I forgot about a certain person. Remember, this is the hooking position at the moment, and it also is guys that haven't represented South Africa at international level just yet. So without further ado, let's start with Vincent Chichuka. Here's the Sharks hooker. He's a really good player. He's been at the alignment camps a couple of times with the Springboks before, although he's getting very high competition from Kieran van Vuuren at the moment. So between those two, the Sharks hookers, between Vincent Chichuka and Kieran van Vuuren, obviously vying for a place in that Sharks position. Vincent Chichuka, like I said, have been at the Springbok alignment camps. Although he hasn't impressed me that much, I had to include his name into the selection as well. Sparrow also says, I feel bad for Nohamba being called up for the box and then getting dropped by Jaden Hendricks. So that is one of those things. I felt Nohamba deserved an opportunity. Well, Jaden Hendricks has been really good for the Springboks as well and scoring a try on test debut. So things are really going for him. But we'll have a look into the scrum half positions a little bit later on, guys. So currently, again, like I said, Vincent Chichuka has been at the alignment camps. He's looked pretty good. I do feel that his lineouts are pretty secure, and he does tend to be involved in the ruck situation, although he's not a known ball stealer like your Malcolm Marxes and your Bongi Munambis and even your Joseph Ndwebas these lately. But I do feel that Karen van Vuuren is that guy. He can be your second flanker if you requires him to be. The only concern that I do have with Karen van Vuuren is the fact that his lineouts are not 100% secure at this stage. So, yeah, it is really troubling when it comes to his lineouts. But furthermore, he's a really dynamic player, likes to get involved in your face. And, he's one of the future stars. Then Johan Grobler, we have seen he's been called up to the Springbok side. Whether he will get an opportunity to play, that's a different question altogether, because you got the likes of Joseph Dweba, you've got the likes of Bongi Munambi, you've got Malcolm Marx, and then even on the outside, you've got Akker van der Merwe also coming through, and Skarren Tubeni also vying for a place in that Springbok side as well. But I've been very impressed with Johan Grobler as late. He's a firing little hooker, and really looking forward to see how he takes this experience that he's going to build from being in that Springbok camp and how he's going to fare in the future. Remember, guys, let me know who you guys think is the next up-and-coming hooker for the Springbok side from this names that I've mentioned. And if I did leave out somebody, let me know in the comments section as well. We got Kutenda Makwamaya saying, I would like to see my Congolese brother getting a call-up like Madosh Tambwe and the Chichuka brothers. So we're going to get to them in just a little bit, Kutenda as well. Delaray Engelbrecht said, Johan Grobler is a strong, physical and fast, real go-getter with a good work rate. Reminds me of Bismarck. So that's what I like about Johan Grobler, he's that physical, he's strong, he's your norm. Well, how can I put this? Your normal hooker. You'd expect him to throw in straight. You need to have him strong, physical, and really fast at the breakdown as well. And that's why I also kind of like the fact that Johan Grobler has been called up to the Springbok side as well to get that experience. And who knows, he's going to be maybe a future star as well. Another guy that I've really loved that's come through is the likes of PJ Puerta. Now, he's been firing in a rather lion side that hasn't been really showing the nitty-gritty stuff. I know he's been playing second to Jakob Versace, probably the experience of Jakob Versace having him in front at the moment. But I do like, he's very similar to Johan Grobler, strong, physical, and really fast. And he tends to carry that ball up really, really nicely. And then another guy that has really impressed me is Manus van der Merwe from the Cheetahs. His lineouts are pretty solid. He tends to make yards when he gets the ball. So he does get that front foot ball over the advantage line that's needed. And then another guy that's come absolutely from nowhere is Landre van Rooyen from the Griquas. He's just been really exceptional and one of the standout performers in that Griquas side that is having an absolute amazing season so far. And then also Achilles says, Guru, I think Hendricks should become a box. I know he ain't a forward, but I just want him there. So we will have a talk about Hendricks a little bit later, and I think you're referring to Jordan Hendricks or Cornell. Is it Cornell Hendricks you're referring to, Achilles? But definitely Van Roos as well. Then Andre Rel says, still very young, but Andre Higofenta and Jock Hussen also might have potential. Give them a few years. So Andre Higofenta has been really good for me as well, but he hasn't got that game time just yet. And then Jock Hussen, if you can help me out, Andre, for who does Jock Hussen play for? Because I haven't heard his name just before. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this poll that I had, and I'm going to open up a new one. And we need 4 players in the hooking position who you guys think from this group that I've mentioned now, who you think should be the next hooker to come through in this group. So we do have Vincent Chichuka, we got Karen van Vuuren, you got Johan Grobler, PJ Puerta, Manus van der Merwe, and Landre van Rooyen. I'm going to put 4 of my favorites who I think should be there, and you guys can vote. So the question would be, who would be the next hooker in line to make the Bok group? Let's just do this doc group. And then what I'll do is I'll add Johan Grobler, as I think he is a firm favorite amongst the fans as well. And then obviously we do have the likes. What I do like about a lot is PJ Puerta. I think he's a really special youngster coming through really nicely. And then we obviously got Fez and Barter, and then also we'll have Karen van Vieren. So I think those are the guys, the main guys in line to have an opportunity maybe to reach this hooking position. We got quite a few comments coming in here. Achilles says, yeah, Cornel Hendricks. So there's been a lot of discussion about Cornel Hendricks and the legal issues regarding SA Rugby and all those sort of things. But I don't want to discuss too much about Cornel because he is a current Springbok. So tonight is basically the new generation of players coming through. And then Andre Roll says Sharks, and he is in your SA under-20 group. So, yeah, Jacques Huissen, I'll go and have a look up on him. I'll just press that in because Jacques Huissen, I do want to go and have a look at this guy a little bit later on because I'm quite keen on the youngsters coming through in SA Rugby. Grim Reaper says David Creel and his brother. So we will be getting to the fullbacks a little bit later on. Guru, can you make a Springbok versus New Zealand Rugby Challenge 4? And when you make your own block, where you like to play the All Blacks, you pick a whole new squad. It'll be fun to see that one game play as the Bokkers. So I will have that on real soon. I had a little bit of issues with the PC again, Achilles, like always. And in one game, you can play PC versus PC. That would be cool as well. So, guys, the poll is up. I do have it going. Who will be the next hooker in line to make the Bok group? We've got Johan Grobler, PJ Puerta, Fez Mbata, and Karen van Vieren currently in that poll. I will be discussing the props just now. So while we're at that, you can go ahead and vote for the next hooker who you guys think should be joining the Springbok group as well. So without further ado, let's move over to the hookers that I've singled out. And one of them are Neetling Verscheert from the Western Province. Then you got Ntuko Machuna from the Sharks. You got Gerard Steenekamp from the Bulls. Mornay Smith from the Bulls. Carl Usari from the Lions. Then you got Ulutua Chakweni from the Cheetahs. And then I've added Piers Schumann, who currently plays in Edinburgh in Scotland in the Pro 16. It will be this year. So the reason why I picked these guys, Neetling Verscheert is a great ball carrier. He tends to make a lot of yards with his gains. Every time he touches the ball, he makes a lot of meters, gains a lot of ground, and his defense have been pretty solid, and he's quite firing. I know that he is a replacement hooker, prop forward at stages, but he does really look like something for the future. And one thing that I do like is his scrumming technique is quite comprehensive. When he used to scrum against some of the top competitors, he holds his man quite firmly, and he's still so young. So imagine what he can do in 5 years' time when he gets that experience and really build up. The same with Ntuko Machuna. We saw him in that, was it the Preparations Cup, where he absolutely ran from, I think it was the 10-meter line, inside his own half and ran straight through some of the backline players and went all the way to score a try. And that tells me that he's got the potential to move to flank even in the future as a loose forward. But imagine having a speedster like him at hooker, vying for the ball, trying to steal the ball on the ground. He's a strong scrummager, young player coming through. He really takes the ball up nicely. He's got a bit of a agility to him that I really love. And also Beeston Tawarera is a big fan of him as well. So before I go further, let's go and have a look at some more of these comment sections. Achilles says hooker should be on Grobler. And then Reino Opperman says you still have some Piwe Matanzima and Jan Hendrik Wessels from the Bulls. So Matanzima is one player that I've left out. I'll add him to this group as well. I do feel that is a great player coming through. Some Piwe Zima. Let's hope I spelled his name correctly. But if I didn't, it doesn't really matter. You guys know who I'm referring to. So he's definitely one of the players that I've missed in this group. As for the other guy, Jan Hendrik Wessels, he hasn't had too much game time just yet, but I'm really looking forward to see what he can do as well. So I think I've added him to the wrong side there. So, but Zima can be added to that group. And then Gerard Steenekamp has been phenomenal. Him and Morne Smith together in that Blue Bulls pack has been absolutely phenomenal. You wouldn't say that it's youngsters coming through when you look at that Bulls lineup really scrumming their way forward, taking that ball up and really making the hard yards. So for me, Gerard Steenekamp and Morne Smith will probably be right up there when you want to take them to a lineman camp to the Springbok side. And then Carlos Sadi, I've added his name. I know he's overweight. He's not as fit as he should be. But when this guy is fit and he's strong and he's ready to rumble, I really don't see a better scrummager than Carlos Sadi in South African rugby at the moment. I think he'll even give Frans Malherbe and Trevor Nyakane a massive go for that number 3 jersey. And even he can scrum either side. He can go loose head or tight head. And it's really disappointing to see that his form isn't quite up where it should be at the moment. So really hoping that in the next season or two, that Carlos Sadi can really up his game a little bit and deliver the goods as well. Then you got Olatua Chakweni. I don't know how familiar you guys are with this guy, but what I've seen so far from doing the Cheetahs live commentary, this guy kind of sparks every little magic that there is to this Cheetah front row, and you could see that they're more lively and more willing to really go forward with the ball. And this guy has made meters every single time that he's touched the ball. So I'm very impressed with Chakweni at the moment. Obviously, he needs some game time. He needs to get into that starting lineup and really show what he can do as a starting prop forward. And then the reason why I added Piers Schumann is because he is probably going to be a Scottish player next season. This guy has been absolutely phenomenal in the Pro 14 that it was currently is. Is a strong scrummager. He's a good defender, and he really likes to take the ball up. And the only concern about Piers Schumann maybe is his discipline. His discipline has been really poor over the course of the time, but that comes with the territory. I mean, if you have guys like Eben Etzebeth, discipline is not 100%. Guys like Waka Smith tend to give away penalties at the breakdown. Then you could accept that Piers Schumann will probably give away 1 or 2 penalties along the way as well. But for me, he is probably the number 1 running prop forward in this whole group. My favorites, of course, Neetling Fischer and Gerard Steenekamp, alongside Carlos Sadi, if fit and willing to really work on that fitness. He should really be making it. Then we also got Delare Engelbrecht saying Gerard Steenekamp has a hard as a rock, a very strong prop. Carlos Sadi is the next best big thing, just need to be fitter. He has all the tools to be the next best Springbok prop. And I do agree with Delare there. It's like I said, if Carlos Sadi can work on his fitness and get ready and rumbling, then he should be the guy that replaces Frans Malherbe in that Springbok front row. I know Vincent Koch is there, Volker Low is there, but I mean, Carlo is just an exceptional tight head prop that can turn the game on its head almost from the first minute. And if you can have Gerard Steenekamp along with Carlos Sadi, it could be quite devastating. Even having Piers Schumann there as well could really make a massive impact on that front row forward, be it as a replacement or starting prop forwards. And then Achilles asking, Guru, what do you think about Arno Puerta? Could he ever be a Bok? That guy is solid and strong. So Arno Puerta is not part of the next generation Springboks, given that he's already a Springbok, Achilles. So yeah, he's been a Bok. He's playing solid rugby. He probably won't let any Springbok side down at this stage. but I do feel that there is better youngsters coming through next in line. Although, like I said, Arno Puerta will never disappoint any team. He's as rock solid as any loose forward that you will get to play for the Bulls at any time. So let's go and have a look at how the voting system goes for who would be the next hooker in line to make the Bok group. 44% said Johan Grobler, 19% says PJ Puerta, 19% says Fez Mbata, and also 19% says Karen van Vieren. So we locked in a three-way tie as to who would be the second prop hooker to go after Johan Grobler. So Johan Grobler leading the chase with 17 votes. 47% says Johan Grobler to be the next hooker in line to make the Springbok group if there has to be another hooker selected for the Springboks at the moment. And it's going to be a tough one, given that Joseph Ndweba has really sparked really well in his debut game. We've seen the likes of Munambi really cementing his place, and Malcolm Mudd's probably the reserve hooker at this stage. But I mean, if Ndweba keeps performing like he is, he could be lifting one of those two players real soon. And so too Johan Grobler, who's had an absolutely fantastic season with the Bulls. So let's go back to that voting poll. We're still deadlocked at 18% on the bottom three. So we'll still have this running for a while. Let me know, guys, what do you guys think of this of the prop forwards that I've selected here? Are there any other props missing? I know we do have we did say that Simpiwe Matazima and Jan-Hendrik Wessels from the Bulls, Rhino Opperman did mention that, and Matazima is another youngster coming really good, really well. But is he Springbok quality at this stage? Probably not, as well as most of these guys that we're mentioning here. But I do feel that if there's somebody that could make the step up, it would be either Carlo Sadi or Piers Schumann, or even Neetling Verscheer and Gerard Steenekamp, who has been absolutely phenomenal with their franchises so far. And let's see. Let's have another look. Achilles says, true, but South Africa's blessed with these youngsters. We have a good future ahead with these guys and many choices to play for the Bokke in the future. Just hope Russie and Jock see them. And then Andre Warren says, Jan-Hendrik Wessels better than them all. So Jan-Hendrik Wessels, I haven't seen him play that much, so I will go and have a look at him a little bit later on, just as I will have a look at Jock Huissen from the Sharks. And then Andre Rolls says, Robert Rogers playing for Montpellier is also very good loosehead. Only 20 years old, so might be in a couple of years. So Robert Rogers it is then. Robert Rogers. Let's go and have a look at him also a little bit later on. Quite keen. And then Andre Warren says Jan meant Jan. Right, so we currently got 19 votes. We're going to end this poll here for the hooking position. So Johan Grobler will be getting that number 2 jersey. So we will go through this session with each and every player or each position to decide who is going to make it. So the next poll that we've got is who will be next hooker prop forwards in line to be selected for a Springbok camp. Let's put it that way, because realistically we can't expect these guys to just jump into the Springbok side and play. So what we will do then, guys, what I do have here is we'll take Neetling Verscheer as one. We have to mix this up quite nicely because we only got 4 players to choose from. So I will put in 2 tight heads and 2 loose head props that we can select from here. We also got Gerard Steenekamp. He is a loose head prop. Gerard Steenekamp. And then we can add as well, I think, Carlo Sadi and Pierre Schumann as the ones to be selected there. So you guys can go and have a crack at that next poll. So Jan Groblaar did win that first one with 47%, and PJ Puerta came in second place with Faison Bata and Karen van Vuren at 15% apiece. So let's have now a look at the lock forwards coming through in the Springbok lineup. And there are quite a few players that's really knocking on that door. And we're basically starting off with all the Western Province locks. Marcel Tennyson, David Mayhuizen, you got JD Schikkeling, Salman Murat. Then you go over to the Shark side, Ruben van Heerden, JJ van der Mesh, obviously now lost for South African Rugby or Club Rugby. He's now with Paris in France. So I do hope that we don't lose JJ van der Mesh to France in the future. Then we got Hiron Andrews, Ruan Orkia, Walt Steenkamp, Jacques Duplessis, Hanko Swanepoel, Ruben Schumann, and then Reinhard Noordnagel. I couldn't add the L as the type letters went berserk there at the end. So having a look through all these players that we've got here, Marcel Tennyson, David Mayhuizen, you could even put Abrams van Ryn in that same breath as well, because they do rotate those players quite a bit. But I must say, I've been quite impressed with all the lock forwards of the Western Province, especially Marcel Tennyson and David Mayhuizen. They've been good in the lineouts. They've been solid on defense. They've really carried the ball up nicely. They've been solid at ruck time. They've been just all around the park. And the same with JD Schikkeling. It's quite surprising that this guy has never been capped by the Springboks before, but I do feel that his injury played a big part in him not reaching his full potential in the end. But still, he would never let the side down. And same with Salman Murat. There was a time where he was really exceptional, played some really good rugby. Then he got injured and he's kind of been left out of the scene because of Marcel Tennyson, David Mayhuizen, Abrams van Ryn, and JD Schikkeling just coming to the front and really performing well in their positions and not letting the team down. So a lot of work for Salman Murat, but I know that he's got plenty of leadership qualities. We've seen him really performing at the best level in the junior Springboks. He was captain of the junior Springboks, and for me, one of those players that could have a bright future ahead if he can come back from that injury layoff, and if he can lift Marcel Tennyson or Abrams van Ryn or even David Mayhuizen out of their positions. Then as for Ruben van Heerden, I had to add him. He's been Mr. Consistency for the Shark side. I don't think he's Springbok quality just as yet, but he has been solid and consistent. But at this stage, I do feel that there's plenty of other players that will rank above him. But certainly, I do feel that there's a couple of players in this group that I've just mentioned that might be better than your Marvin Uri, or even, I don't want to get personal on certain players, but I do not feel that Marvin Uri has been the guy that we need in that Springbok lineup. And for whatever reason he got selected, I do feel in this group we've got better players than him currently. So, again, going through the other one, Hiron Andrews, still your typical lock forward, just doing the basics right. Nothing special from him, although Ruan Orkia has been really exceptional for the Bulls. You can use him as a lock forward. You can either use him as a flank forward. And I do see Ruan Orkia being one of those players that we're going to look forward to in the future. And even Walt Steenkamp has been really, really good for the Bulls. The Bulls are blessed with talent aplenty. Jacques Duplessis now coming back. We haven't seen him play a lot, but what I've seen from him playing in overseas is right up there for Springbok selection. He's maybe like your Nico Jansen van Rensburg. And again, nothing taken away from Nico Jansen van Rensburg, but I do feel that we've got a better player in this group that could replace them and maybe even deliver better rugby in that Springbok group in the future. So I think that they did get it wrong with Nico Jansen van Rensburg and Marvin Uri. And I also don't like the fact that they're using Jean-Luc du Preez at lock forward as well. I do feel that you got your Schikkeling, you got your Murat, you got the likes of Ruan or Kjevald Steenkamp, who can slot in easily into that positions that is currently occupied by players that's been underperforming and that's playing overseas currently. Then we've got the likes of Hanke Swanepoel, another youngster, needs maybe a couple of more seasons to really get into that level where he can really play for the Springboks, but he's been really good. The same goes to Ruben Schumann. I think it's really a shame that he hasn't been called in to one of the alignment camps at least. And even Reinhard Noordnagel, that combination of Ruben Schumann and Reinhard Noordnagel for me has probably been one of the better combinations as for the franchises up until now. It's probably the same as Ruan Orkia and Walt Steenkamp, who's been an exceptional combination, like your Eben Etzebeth and your Franco Mostert combination and your Lua de Jager Eben Etzebeth combination. We do need to look at that. We normally don't pick the best players these days. We pick combination and what's best for the environment. So I do feel that if we have to bring in two players and leave Ori and Nico Jansen van Rensburg out, I would probably have gone for the combination of Ruan Orkia and Walt Steenkamp or your Ruben Schumann, Reinhard Noordnagel combination at this stage. But like this again, guys, if there's any player that I've left out, please let me know in the comment section. We will go through that in just a minute. Achilles says, what do you think about Gunther Jansen van Vieren? He is solid and actually the son of one of the people I game with. So I haven't seen Gunther Jansen van Vieren really play. Achilles, what position does he play as well? 25 years old and solid as rock. Good player, actually. So I'm not sure. I guess that he plays for the Bulls. Is that correct, Achilles? And then Delaray Engelbrecht says, Ruan Orkia is the next generation lock. He is one of the best work rate in the Currie Cup. He runs strong lineouts, brilliant, and he has some speed. So he definitely needs to be called up. And I agree completely with you there, Delaray. As for one single lock to really stand out from this group that I've put down here today, I would definitely probably say that Ruan Orkia, and also I've got my personal favorite in JJ van der Mescht, although I know his fitness hasn't been great and he hasn't been playing the world on fire, but I do feel when he's fit and ready that JJ van der Mescht will be an absolutely beast in that Springbok side. But if you have to pick on form currently, you'd probably go with Ruan Orkia, and I'm going slightly in the direction of Ruben Schumann. He's been so consistent for this Lions side, and it's really a shame that he hasn't been called up to the Springbok setup just yet. So from all these guys, if I have to pick my four favorites, it will probably be Ruan Orkia, Ruben Schumann, JJ van der Mescht, and then going for what could be is Salman Murat, who I do feel that has a lot of potential for the Springbok side in the future. Achilles says, no, Guru Gunther plays for the Cheetahs, but is that he going to go to Russia soon? Born in Russia, building a rugby team, it seems. Well, it's not impossible. It could always be happening, Achilles. So we do see a lot of our players being snatched away by overseas, and it's really sad. And JJ van der Mescht is going that same length as well. So currently we got 13 votes who will be the next prop forward in line to be selected for a Springbok camp. So currently Carlos Sadi is really leading that race with 46%, Piers Schumann with 31%, then Gerard Steenkamp on 15%, and Neetling Forshire with 8%. So I do feel that a Carlos Sadi fit and and having proper game time will probably outlive the guy like Frans Malherbe in that Springbok side real soon. So you guys do have that spot on, I think. And then also Piers Schumann, who's been really exceptional for Edinburgh in Scotland, gets into that second place. So we are going to end this poll, although we only got 13 votes. I think that's a strong indication of what you guys do expect from the prop forwards. So what I will do next is I will put up another one here for the locks as well. So who will be the next locks to be called up for a Springbok camp? And you guys can pick there two of the players. So we've got Yano Augustus, I think, as a firm favorite as well. Then in second place, I would probably say one of the most consistent players so far for me is Schumann. And then also the likes of, let's just go through that one more time. So you've got Marcel Tennyson, David Mayes, and JD Schikkeling, Salman Murat, Ruben van Heerden, JJ van der Mesh, Iron and Yano Augustus, Waldstein, Jacques du Plessis, Hanke Swanepoel, Ruben Schumann, and Reinhard Noordnagel. So you'd probably go for Mr. Consistency as well, JD Schikkeling. Schikkeling. And then I would also probably go with the youngster in Salman Murat, who I think will have a fantastic, fantastic career for that matter. So I have put up 4. That's only 4 that I can put up. So you guys can go ahead and vote there. Who will be the next locks to be pulled up to the Springbok side? Like I said, my favorites probably would be the likes of Yano Augustus as well as Ruben Schumann, who I feel has been really consistent for the Lions over time. So yeah, it's one of those things. The next one we're going to look at is the flank or the loose forwards, excluding the number 8 position. So when you look at this, you still got amazing talent coming through in South Africa as well. I think this is the one area where we're really, really blessed with some really good players. Lining up there is Johan de Tooy, Ernst van Ryn, Namakaba, Dylan Richardson, James Venter, Rijlo, Miller Ace, Vincent Chichuka, MJ Pelser, Sibosiza Sangweni, Jean-Andre Rudolph, Junior Pocamela, Jacques Vermeulen, who's playing in the English Premiership, as well as Ruan Ackerman, the son of Johan Ackerman, which I've added there as well. So let me know in the comment section if I left out any certain player who you guys think is going to make a massive impact in the future of South African rugby. So going through this list currently, you've got Johan de Tooy, who's been really solid for this Western Province side. Each time he's come on, he's played decently. You've got Ernst van Ryn, who's been leading this Western Province, this young Western Province side, and he's gaining a lot of experience in the process as well. So he can play lock or flank, which is an exceptional benefit to have as well. I think Johan de Tooy can play lock and loose forward as well. And then one player that's really impressed me from the Western Province has been Namakaba. He's just a ball-stealing machine at the moment and reminds me a lot about what Kwagga Smith and Eskom, Marco van Staden, is doing for the Bulls and, the Lions previously, Kwagga. So it's exceptional to have a youngster like Namakaba coming through as well. He fits every category to become a Springbok in the future. So really, I'm really looking forward. I'm really going out to have a look how he plays in every single game. And so far, I must say that Namakaba, for me, hasn't had a poor game so far in each game that he's played so far. Same goes for Dylan Richardson. He's an absolutely brilliant player. He's really one of those aggressive loose forwards that we need. We saw him got under the skin of Dwayne Vermeulen previously, and it takes quite a lot to get under the skin of Dwayne Vermeulen. So it just tells you what type of player Dylan Richardson is. And he's got that leadership qualities that you want in a player. So I'm really excited to see what he will bring in a couple of season times, pending whether he's going to get game time at the Shark. Because for some reason, he's been played off the bench most of the times and probably makes his impact off the bench quite nicely. But I would love to see Dylan Richardson get into that starting place and really playing on a consistent basis as well. Then James Venter, another player, former Lions, Sharks player now. He's one of those ball-stealing flankers who can really go out there and make the opposition's life a nightmare at the breakdown. And we've seen the likes of the All Blacks struggling at the breakdown recently. So it's guys like Namakaba, Dylan Richardson, James Venter that we really need. And currently we've got it in Marco van Staden and Kwagga Smith. I would say even Siya Kolisi has been doing really well so far this season. I'm one of the most critical persons when it comes to Siya Kolisi, and he's built really well. So they've been doing their job, but these youngsters can fill into that gap at any given time and really deliver. Another guy would I love to see get into that Springbok alignment camp or even at the end of the year tour is Rijlo. He's been exceptional for the Bulls lately, and really looking forward to see. He's made the switch to number 8. He's played brilliantly in that game that I saw him play. He's a number 7 flanker. He can do the work that Peter Steph the Tour has done quite phenomenally as of late, and we've seen Franco Mostert also vying in that position. But I do believe that we need to blood our youngsters, and he, for me, is the next guy in line to really make that position his own. And in Miller Ace, we've seen some really good play from him coming off the bench for the Bulls, really performing well. He's one of those ball-stealing flankers. He can play number 8 as well, but probably still a little bit far off in this line or this names that we've got here. Then Vincent Chichuka, for me, has been very unlucky not to be part of the alignment camps. I think he does bring a lot of bulk to the game. He does get to gain a lot of meters when he go forward ball. There has been questions around his fitness as of late, but he has been injured, and he probably would have been in that Springbok camp. I wouldn't say he would have started the test or played a Springbok cap, but definitely one of those players that we're looking forward to in the future. And MJ Belsa and Sibusiso Sangweni has been playing a very similar game for the Lions as well. Sangweni has been the number 1 selection as of late, with MJ Belsa being injured. So I do like that combination. I do like those youngsters coming through from the Lions. I do feel that they've got a bright future in them. I know we haven't mentioned Strowley here. Strowley is another youngster coming through really nicely. And then, moving on to Jean-Andre Rudolph. He's been exceptional for the Cheetahs as well. He's been one of those players that's been standing out in a struggling Cheetahs side, really. And when he plays, you know it. He does tend to give away quite a few penalties at the breakdown. Not your best disciplined player to have, but really one of those nitty-gritty players. And sometimes you need guys like that to be part of the lineup as well. And then as far as Junior Pocamela goes, I added his name as he was one of the youngsters coming through really nicely for South Africa, but it's just ducked away in the last season or two. So good to see him back into the Cheetah lineup, getting some game time and trying to prove his worth. But I do feel that he's at the lower end of this group of players that we've mentioned so far. And then Jock Vermeulen has been phenomenal in, previously for the Sharks and now playing in the English Premiership. He's just been one of those players that I guess who probably would have been knocking on the door had he not gone overseas. And the same counts for Ruan Ackerman as well. I do feel that the fact that he went overseas to Gloucester did really hurt his opportunities. So, it's one of those things that we need to maybe try and get our players back from overseas and then get them back in the South African system. Andre Roll says maybe add Nicholas Janssen van Rensburg. I think he is still in the Springbok group. So, Nicholas Janssen van Rensburg hasn't actually played a Springbok test yet. He's played in that SAA game, I think. Did he play in the Georgia game? I can't remember quite well. But, you do have a point there, Andre. It's a good point to make. De La Rey Engelbrecht says Elrich Rowe is probably the best flanker, personally, for me, currently in South Africa or Currie Cup. He's a strong ball carrier, makes runs, steals balls in the ruck, and a leader in a line-out. Absolutely. And if you have to go and have a look at that core group of flankers, I would probably pick Elrich Lowe as my first person on that Springbok camp which we will get to a little bit later. Achilles says, Evan could see, it's probably Marcel could see it for the Bulls. He plays solid, still super young. So, or is it Evan could see? I'm not quite sure. I don't know that youngster. Then Delaray Engelbrecht says, Jean-André Rolf is like a Jean Smith or Hendricks, which so very strong ball carrier and hard work on the ground. So he's absolutely that. But I only have a problem with his discipline. He does tend to give away quite a few penalties, and it's not so much for not rolling away or holding on to the ball. It tends to get out of hand, and his overall discipline when it comes to, how can I put this, to, I wouldn't say fighting, but argy-bargy, and you don't need guys like that to, well, you got the likes of Eben Etzebeth already there. So imagine if you're going to have Jean-André Rudolph, Eben Etzebeth, your Bismarck du Plessis, and your Yanni du Plessis all fighting and argy-bargy. In the end, it's going to cost us quite a little bit in the end. So for that reason, I do believe Jean-André is a very good player, but for me, just his discipline have maybe let him down a little bit in that regard. And then Andre Raul says Pepsi Buthelezi, and then Achilles Evan at the Griquas currently. All right, so I'll have a look. I don't recall knowing that player that well, Achilles. I know there is quite a few, but I couldn't remember seeing his name amongst those. But we'll move over to the number 8s in just a bit, Andre. I see that you've got Pepsi Buthelezi there, so we will have a look at the number 8s in just a short while. So we do have 20 votes. Who will be the next locks to be called up for the Springbok camp? That's currently the poll. So 45% says Ruan Orkia. Ruben Schumann gets 10%. JD Schikkeling gets 35%. And then Salman Murat gets 10%. So we will end that poll on that call. We will be selecting all these players together a little bit later, and we will have our viewers' team of youngsters to make it in the future. So I am going to put up the next one, who will be the flankers, who will be the next loose forwards, well, let's put it flankers, because we still have to get to the number 8. Who will be the next flankers to be selected for a Springbok camp? Not Springbok call-up, just the camp, guys, as realistically, we'll probably not see any of these guys just jump into a Springbok team. So we do have Rijlo. Let's have a look who else we got. I personally like the likes of Namakaba. I think he's been really exceptional for the Western Province as well. And then we'll probably have a look at, well, we can add, let's see, realistically, who would you pick? So Dylan Richardson, for me, has the potential to really make that step up and get to that Springbok side in the future, as well as Vincent Chichuka. I just don't want to spell his name wrong. Chichuka. Oh, don't mind me, guys. I'm just struggling with this guy's surname. Don't want to get it wrong. So there's the next poll, guys. So who will be the next flankers to be called up to the Springbok camp? You guys can vote there. Should be coming up. There we go. So who will be the next flankers to be selected for the Springbok camp? We've got Rijlo, Namakaba, Dylan Richardson, and then also Vincent Chichuka for that group. So this is going to take us to the next group of players, and that is your number 8. I do feel that there's quite a few good players coming through at the moment, but one or two really standing out in that core group of players, and that currently is Evan Ruiz and Pepsi Buthelezi. For me, is the two standout players that's currently really knocking down on that door to become the next number 8 in line. Dwayne Vermeulen won't be there forever. We know we've got Dan du Plessis and not Dan du Plessis, but we got Dan de Preer, and we also got the likes of Jasper Wiese in really good form, and we got Marcel Coetzee, who could easily slot in there. but I do feel that Van Roos and Pepsi Buthelezi has been exceptional, with Van Roos, for me, hands down, the best number 8 currently in the Currie Cup. And I think if I have to even stretch it that far and say, even though Jasper Wiese had a man-of-the-match performance against the Pumas, I do feel that Van Roos would have had a better game had he started for the Springboks. He's just one of those youngsters that can step into the side and you won't even realize that he's a youngster. He'll just slot into that number 8 position, outplay the likes of Peter Steph, the Tue, Sia Kulisi, you name it. He's just one of those players, and I'm really, really looking forward to see him go from strength to strength. And I do believe that Van Roos' name will be in that end of year tour for me. Achilles says, well, I'm going to go to sleep now. Guru, was really fun, and you really good knowledge about rugby. Thank you so much, Achilles. We'll see you next time. Then Delaray Engelbrecht says, Pepsi Buthelezi is a good player, but still need to develop as a player. Van Roos is just wow. He reminds me of a PSP Spies with the speed and his work rate, but Willie Engelbrecht at the Pumas is good as well. So I didn't add Willie Engelbrecht. That's probably a name that we could have added to the lineup, but I do believe that we've got so many youngsters as well. Then moving on to Yano Augustus, who was one of the best young players to come through in South African rugby, and his nickname Trocky just tells you everything. So I'm a bit disappointed that he hasn't got the game time that he's been required at the Western Province. I do, if my knowledge is correct, I do believe that he's gone overseas now, or I might be wrong, or he's still to leave. But he will have a stint overseas, and probably he will grow as a player. The same with Yaku Kutsia, who I felt was probably one of the best developing players in South African rugby before he went to Bath now. So let's hope that the English Premiership will improve his talent as well. I've been quite impressed with Aiden Davis from the Cheetahs. He's your typical number 8 pickup from the back, go forward ball, good in defense. And he also have that, how can you say, Ryan Kankowski feel about him, where he can really destroy you in open space as well. And then Frankie Horn has been good at the Lions, obviously with Len Massane out injured. I did feel that Len Massane was very much a Warren Whiteley. So it will be interesting to see how these two will align when they're all fit and ready to go for the for this Lions side. And Andrew Sergel, for me, has been probably one of the underrated players in the Currie Cup. He's been tremendous. His defensive work rate has been well. His attacking, his rucking has been good. He's a line-out option, and he's captaining some really, well, he has been captaining the Griquas for, I think, a game or two now, and he just get that go-forward ball for them. So watch out for the name. I do feel that for him to really be noticed, he will have to go to a bigger union, maybe like the Bulls or the Sharks, the Western Province, but it's the question of where do we play him, and it's one of those things. Tim Becker says, Van Roos is the next Dwayne Vermeulen, Curvin copy. No, apps or carbon copy, that is, Tim Becker. So I totally agree. For me, there's no other person at the moment that I would want to see in that Springbok side than Van Roos. It's actually one of those things where it's non-negotiable, and I actually can't believe that Rassie and Jock Nienaber missed that. Probably, like I said, will be at the end of the year. I would be very surprised if he doesn't make it. And then Tembeka says Yano Augustus has gone under the radar after the Under-20 World Cup. And it's been so disappointing because he's such a great player. If I had to pick two players probably from this group, I would probably go with Van Roos and Yano Augustus at this stage. And then my third option would probably be Pepsi Buthelezi at this stage. But that's just my opinion. But hands down, nobody else than Van Roos, I think, is the next number 8 that we need to really grind into that Springbok side at the moment. And then we do have the poll going on, guys. Who will be the next flanker to be Springbok camp? Rijlo with 54%, Namakaba with 23%, Dylan Richardson with 15%, and then Vincent Chichuka with 8% currently. So I don't know if I must let that vote go for a little bit longer. I think we all know what the result is going to be with the number 8s, but I will add that in a bit. Let's end this poll. So we do have Rijlo and Namakaba there winning that race in the flanker position. Who will be the next 8th man to join the Springbok camp? And currently, let me just see what's going on here. 8th man join the Springbok camp. So we do have Van Roos, Pepsi Buthelezi. Oh, come on. Buthelezi, and then we also got Yano Augustus, I think, should be there. Augustus, and then probably the last vote on that, I would say, outside option at this stage, maybe Yako Kutsia will be as a dark horse, but like I say, Van Roos for me, hands down, probably the next number 8 who will be joining the Springbok side. So it is up now. Who will be the next 8th man to join the Springbok camp? Van Roos, Pepsi Buthelezi, and then Yano Augustus, as well as Yako Kutsia. So now moving on to the number 9 position. And yeah, I'm a little bit stretched on this one, guys. Morne van der Berg, Andre Warner, Grant Williams, Zach Berger, and then I've added one name who I desperately want to see this guy back in South Africa, be it for whatever union, is James Hall. He left South Africa playing for the Southern Kings. Previously, I think he was a Sharks under 20 player or under 19 player, but James Hall, for me, hands down, have to be the next selection out of this core group. We've got so many talented players. We know we've got Jaden Hendricks, we've got Nohamba, we've got Faf de Klerk, we've got, there's just so many. We do have, I'm lost for words here because there's so many good players at the moment. So Kobus Reinach, you got there. So from the guys that haven't represented South Africa at international level just yet, Morne van der Berg, for me, has been one of the standout scrum halves in South Africa. Is now playing second fiddle to Andre Warner as well as Ross Cronje. And I just can't understand why Morne van der Berg aren't rated higher with the Lions currently. I mean, Andre Warner always get me that feeling of a Farida Priya. I know I was so surprised. I don't know who mentioned it from the Springbok guys over the weekend, said that Jaden Hendricks gives a Farida Priya vibe. What the hell? I honestly don't see that. I think Andre Warner is a lot more like Farida Priya, same build, same kind of play. Farida Priya probably just a little bit better with his tactical kicking. Grant Williams, for me, has been quite exceptional. And in Zach Berger, just not just yet to be able to stamp off his authority. And then Keegan Johannes as well, really pushing that position at the moment. So quite interesting to see how he will develop as well. Let's see. Do you think Van Roos is better than Dan de Priya? Well, Tembeka currently on current form, we all know Dan de Priya is pretty good, but I do feel that Van Roos, given the competition that we play in the Currie Cup is not the biggest of competitions, but just the way he played against the Lions, he just fitted in. And I think Van Roos, I'll call it. I think he's better than Dan de Priya, and don't take anything away from Dan de Priya. I love the de Priya twins. Coming as a Sharks fan, they're coming from the Sharks. They've been brilliant, but I do feel that Van Roos is better than Dan de Priya. And then Andre Roll says Nohamba does not have a cap yet. I don't think he does. Played in an SAA team, so his name should actually be along with these guys. Probably, let's add him there. Let's just do this Sanele Nohamba, because I do think he doesn't have a test yet. So that will probably warrant. Why is his name not showing? Oh, there we go. So Sanele Nohamba's name has been added there as well. Let's see. Personally, not yet, says Squad Zulu. So who are you referring to, Squad Zulu? Then Delaray Engelbrecht says Zach Berger with the help of Free at the Bulls is excellent. He controls the game so well. He is positive in every way, but still needs to grow as a player. And I do agree with that. I do see the potential for Zach Berger to become potentially one of our best scrum halves in the world. But like I said, probably from my perspective, a little bit down the line, I think Morne van der Berg has more potential at this stage. Sanele Nohamba has been brilliant for the Sharks. So given that, and again, I say James Hall, hands down for me, I would pick him. I don't know if a lot of people have been following him in the French top 14, but this guy is just an exceptional player. And I was so gutted. He was back in South Africa a while back, and I so really hoped that the Sharks would sign this guy. But given that we got Sanele Nohamba, Grant Williams, and Jaden Hendricks, it probably were never a possibility. It would have been a better possibility for the Bulls maybe to sign him. But either way, he's not been signed, so I don't know if we will see him in the future, but definitely somebody you would have to look out for. And then Delaray Engelbrecht, what about Ivan van Zyl? So Ivan van Zyl is a capped Springbok. We're talking about the guys that's not capped yet, Delaray. But Ivan van Zyl, for me, had a brilliant Rainbow Cup, and he was really good at times. So nothing away from Ivan van Zyl. Timbeka says Zach Berger potentially will be better than Faf de Klerk. That's a big call, and possibilities all around. It's just how he grows with Farida Priya. Will he be able to grow as a player? There's Keegan Johannes, who we've seen is quite exceptional. So it will be interesting to see when Ambrose Papier is also back. And who else is there? Is there another player for the Bulls at scrum half? I don't think so. So the competition is there. So and the top 16 or the United Rugby Championship will be a great place to showcase their talent as well. And then I consider Ivan Alder this point too much talent. Absolutely. There's just so many. Andre Roll says Jaden Hendricks is a brilliant player. He's built like yours and has the ability of free. I would bet that he would become one of the best scrum halves we have ever seen. And I truly hope so. I mean, he showed some glimpses of talent in that debut game, and we saw how good he was in that second game against the Lions as well. So there's definitely potential. Vincent and Tambwe Kotoko, and then FC Kutsa says, thanks for the great content. No problem. Thank you, FC Kutsa, as well for that one. So, yeah, guys, I personally would like to see James Hall and maybe Morne van der Berg there. Let me know as well. We will be putting up that one real quickly. So we do have 20 votes. Ia van Roos getting 70%, Pepsi Buthelezi getting 10%, Yano Augustus getting 15%, and then the last one, let's just see, I missed that last one, but we'll get to that just in a short while. Yeah, so Yaka Kutsia got 5% in the end. So Ia van Roos in total control there. So who will be the next 9 to the Springbok camp? And that's why I didn't really want to add Nohamba, because we know that he has been part of that camp for a while. But obviously, he should be next in line. He's another youngster coming through really well. And then also Morne van der Berg. We'll probably add him there, and then who else will we add there? So we'll add Zach Berger in there as well, because I do feel that he is part of the equation. Zach Berger, and then as the dark horse, I don't know if any of you know James Hall, but I will add him in there as well. So this is the next poll, guys. Who will be the next 9 to the Springbok camp? Sanele Nohamba, Morne van der Berg, Zach Berger, or James Hall? You guys can let me know in the comments section as well. And then Tim Becker says, who do you think will kick off Herschel Yankees of the squad out of these? It will be difficult to knock him out of the group completely. Cobus Reinach and Herschel Yankees and Faf de Klerk will probably rule for the next couple of seasons. But out of this group, I don't really see that happening. If there's anybody that will probably do it, it will be Sanele Nohamba or Jaden Hendricks for that matter. But I think Herschel Yankees is quite secure in his position at the moment. He's playing an excellent role off the bench, and I really can't see one of these players really lifting our top 3 nines at the moment. So yeah, as far as experience would go, I would probably go with Sanele Nohamba. I would love to see James Hall and then Zach Berger there as well. Morne van der Berg, I think, is going to play really exceptional. I think maybe it's time for him to move to another union. I would have loved to see him at the Bulls and what he could have done. But I mean, like we said, there's so many Imbros Papier, got the likes of Keegan Johannes and Zach Berger now there. So we're truly blessed with some exceptional 9s at the moment. So maybe Morne van der Berg can go to the Western Province. Who knows? Because I do feel that the Western Province, along with Herschel Yankees, Paul de Wet has not been that brilliant. So yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. Lion Legacy says not Nohamba. No, I think Jaden Hendricks would probably be the one who could lift him at this stage, and maybe even Zach Berger. Who knows? It's such a tight race for that number 9 spot. So at number 10, probably not as many candidates as we would have liked to have had. We've got Kate Volhatte, Jordan Hendricks, Reinhard Fortuin, and Eddie Fischer. Let me know in the comment section if there's any other fly half that I may have missed. Would you guys would have liked to have added to this group that has not represented South Africa just yet? And then also Sanele has not progressed as I would have liked. So I think the reason why Sanele Nohamba hasn't been able to progress the way we want him to is the arrival of Jaden Hendricks, who was just the wrong time for him. I think Nohamba started playing well, just lifted the other guys out of the side, like Cameron Wright. What's the scrum half, the captain of the Sharks previously? I can't get to his name. So, but basically, he just lifted those guys out of the squad, and then played well. Got called up to the green versus gold, and then pow, there comes Jaden Hendricks onto the scene, and I think that have given Sanele that downfall a little bit, that has halted his progress somewhat. So Zandercock says Jordan Dam. Right, so again, guys, the poll is up. Currently, we've got 15 votes. Nohamba and Zach Berger leading that chase, with James Hall, the dark horse, with 20% at the moment. But currently, we are talking about the fly halves, Kate Volhatte, Jordan Hendricks, Reinhard Fortuin, and Eddie Fischer. We know Volhatte has been phenomenal. He's a youngster coming through for the Western Province, under 20 Springbok. Really got that Hendrik Pollard vibes to him. And I think he's going to be probably the next best thing for South Africa. We know Hendrik Pollard is still young. We know that likes of Elton Yankees is getting older. Well, Pollard also getting older. So we need somebody that's really going to step up and take that plate. And I think Kate is that exact to do as, Kate Volhatte and Jordan Hendricks could just as well have the same kind of effect that Pollard Yankees have had for the Boks over the last couple of years. So that could be our solution. That the likes of Reynard Fortuin has been exceptional for the Cheetahs. The couple of games that I've watched has been a great attacking fly off as well. You obviously do have the likes of Tiaan Swanepoel, who can also slot in at 10. So let's not forget Tiaan Swanepoel as well. Eddie Fouchier has been great for the Pumas as well. But there's really no other real candidates at this stage. And I could probably add I could add Chris. Let's add Chris Smith from the Bulls. I didn't want to add him as I didn't feel that he was quite right up there just yet as to really going for that international level fly-off that we need. But we'll add him there. Let's see where did we leave off? Neo Zulu says, I think you should add Sasha Ngomezulu. There's a very young and I believe plays a lot like Willemson Elton. So I really do see a Springbok future for the boy from Bishop. So what I'll do, I don't know if I can actually, no, I can't. I want to actually, let me type this in real quickly. So it is Sasha. Oh, Sasha Nigego. Just need to get that surname going. Komi Zulu. I will go and check that out a little bit later as well. So there's a couple of players' names that you guys have mentioned today that I do want to go and check out and see how good that is as well. Then Delaray Engelbrecht says Jordan has a massive boot on me. Kicks the ball kilometers, very tall, strong fly off, but Eddie Fouchier has the potential to be a very good. I think he is the Pumas' best player at this stage, which is also true. I think, although he could go the same line as Lionel Cronje went for the Kings, you need to play for one of the bigger unions. It's the same. We'll get to the wingers a little bit later, but just to make a clear example is Edwin Keita, who is now going to the Sharks. He probably would never have been in contention for Springbok honours if he kept playing for the Griquas, but when he moved to the Sharks, there will probably be a little bit more of a spotlight on him, and he'll probably get the chance. So I think the same with Eddie Fouchier down the line. Probably need to move to a bigger union to really have that opportunity that's needed. Then Chris Smith is a yes for me. He needs time, but the man surely has talent to make the squad. So again, nothing against Chris Smith at this stage. I think he does have potential, but currently I don't think he's right up there. If you really look at raw talent, like the likes of Jordan Hendricks, Kate Volhard, even Eddie Fouchier, probably put him in the same line as Eddie Fouchier at the moment. And the difference is Chris Smith is playing for the Bulls and Fouchier for the Pumas. So yeah, Delaray says, what about Tiaan Schumann? I think he's the same age as Pollard. So I do have Tiaan. Is it? No, it's not Tiaan. Is it Tiaan Schumann or Tiaan Swanepoel? I think it's Tiaan Swanepoel. So I've added him at fullback because I do feel that he's more of a natural fullback than fly-off at this stage. And then Liam Rolls says, Jordan Hendricks is a class who reads the game really well and can penetrate the defense with a pass or a step. And then Tembeka says, Gianni Lombard will be the next best thing in my opinion. So Tembeka, I do have Gianni Lombard. You guys are jumping a little bit ahead at the moment. So Gianni is at fullback as well. For me, Andre Rolls says Mornay Steyn. Yeah, Mornay for every occasion. So also we need two young fly quick. Pollard gets injured and we are screwed. So I do believe that Kate Volhard and Jordan Hendricks says the solution there. Liam Rule says Zeilinger is the end, but at this point he's really not helping the Lions. Yeah, so unfortunately, Zeilinger for me is a little bit over the edge at the moment, and also not really international level fly off at the moment. And then Goosen and Kerwin, obviously they have been capped Springboks before, so that's why they're not included into this. But obviously Goosen still have a bright future. I don't know, there's just something about Kerwin Bosch. I don't know, maybe he needs a change of scenery, maybe go overseas, play a little bit there, gain a little bit more experience. But for me, this last 2 seasons with the Sharks has just been so disappointing, really, for me. So I do hope that he gets better, but I just don't see it happening at this stage. And then Tembeka says the only problem is that Pollard is the best in the world and still entering his prime. Might be even the legendary Dan Carter. Sure, it's a tough one. Andre Pollard can still prove me wrong, but I don't think you'll get another Dan Carter, even with Richie Mo'unga now being there. I don't see him ever getting in the same category as your Dan Carters. So we've had 21 votes. Who will be the next 9 in the Springbok camp? 38% has gone with Zach Berger, 33% with Nohamba, 5% with Morne van der Berg, and 24% with James Hall, guys. So we're going to end that poll there, and we'll go to the next one. So who will be the next 10 to join the Springbok camp? And let's do this. Who will be the next 10 to join Springbok camp? Not the debut, guys, but just the camp in general. So we've got Kate Volhatter. We've got Jordan Hendricks. We've got Eddie Fisher. And then let's add Chris Smith to that group. I think Reinhard Fortuin, not known by too many, so it will probably not do justice to add him there just yet. So yeah, there's the next poll, guys. Who will be the next 10 to join the Springbok camp? We've got Kate Volhatter, Jordan Hendricks, not Reinhard Fortuin, Eddie Fisher, and Chris Smith there. And then Delaray says, no Schumann from Bulls and Cheetahs now at Bath. He is a fly-off. You're referring to Schumann, Tian Schumann. So, yeah, Tian Schumann, very average fly-off, really, Delaray. I haven't seen him play at Bath as of late, but hopefully he can improve. We've seen the likes of guys going overseas and then really just becoming brilliant over time. So maybe that is what he needs. Who knows? Moving on, we're going to move now to our centers at the moment. And there's another bunch of really good players coming through. Players that I've selected who I think is really coming through nicely. Maurice Lowe, Dan du Plessis, Rikus Pretorius, Harold Foster, Stedman Gans, Wandisile Similani, David Brits, and Jonathan Frankie. So let me know in the comment section, guys, if I've missed out any young center coming through that you guys think might have a step up to the Springbok squad a little bit later on. So why I put Maurice Lowe, he's from the Sharks, he's an absolutely brilliant ball carrier. He gets over the advantage line. His defense is rock solid. But the only concern that I do have with Maurice Lowe is his discipline. He tends to give away really silly penalties at silly times, and that could cost him a place in the future for the Springbok side. Apart from that, he's an exceptional player, and I would love to see him just get that experience a little bit. Dan du Plessis, for me, he's been around a couple of seasons now, probably haven't lived up to the expectations. Same with Jean du Plessis, or is it Jean-Luc du Plessis? But hopefully, I don't know, maybe a change of scenery, go overseas, play a little bit there, gain a little bit more experience that side, come back better and stronger. I think that is what needs to be done for Dan du Plessis. And then Rikus Pretorius, for me, he's been a good player. He started off with a bang, has had a bit of a slump as of late, and not really living up to the potential that we expected it from him after that first couple of games. It was almost like a Eer van der Roos in that first couple of games, and then pow, just went down the drain. So and then Harold Foster back from overseas now with the Bulls. I would love to see him in there. Strong ball carrier, great defender. He's got some really great tactical kicking on his side as well that I really love. And then Stedman Gans, we've seen what he can do with the Bulls, along with Cornell Hendricks in combination. So a lot needs to happen for him to really make up that step up to the Springbok side. Maybe on a wing, maybe at some stage, but it's going to cost a lot to get there. And then Wandisile Simelane, obviously for me, first name on that board. Unlucky not to start a test. Would have loved to have seen him start in that green and gold to just see what he's capable of. And still, I think raw talent, exceptional player, great feet, great passing, and a bright future ahead for Wandisile Simelane. And then one player that has, or two players that has impressed me quite a bit is David Brits from the Cheetahs, and then Jonathan Frankie from the Griquas. Jonathan Frankie, for me, has been probably the best ball carrier that I've seen since Damien Dialendi or Jan Serfontein, for that matter. And I wouldn't be surprised if this guy gets a call up to another union at some stage. So I don't think he'll get it to become a Springbok or into the Springbok camp through a Griquas lineup. But I do feel that if he can get wrapped up by one of the bigger unions, he could have a massive display. And even David Brits, I think the Bulls will sign him at some stage. I think David Brits is probably, he's got a Jesse Creel vibe, but he's got the rock solid of, JP Nell. I don't know if you guys are familiar with JP Nell from the Bulls. So he's got that vibe for me. So I would really love to see him really improve a little bit, but it's going to take time for him to get there. And then Liam Roll says, Simelane, I also agree with you, Liam. Neo Zulu, you should take a look at Sasha as he made his professional debut for Western Province the other day at the age of 19. So I will have a look at him, Neo. And then Pollard is a luxury if you think about it. Over the years, we've never had great fly-off, but average ones who can kick by, we always have great nines, always. Yeah, so I wouldn't classify Pollard as an exceptional fly-off. I think he is above average. Is he better than Richie Mohanga? Is he better than, there isn't much other players. Is he better than Owen Farrell, maybe, or George Ford? I think maybe he's in the same level as your George Ford, but he's definitely no Bowden Barrett or Richie Mohanga for that matter. And then Tembeka says, for me, Stedman Gans has been unlucky not to be a substitute to And who knows? I mean, Lukaya played second fiddle to Jesse Creel for so long, and then had one phenomenal season, and since then haven't looked back. So I would love it if Simelane or Stedman Gans can have the same kind of effect that has had for the Boks. And Leon Rolf says, I would really like to see Elton come on second half and shift Pollard to 12 for a more dynamic play style if physical plan doesn't work out. So you're referring to a kicking game, because Pollard at 12 will be a kicking option with the likes of Elton Yankees. I don't know. I just don't see Elton Yankees really as an international fly-off. Yeah, he's proven it again over the weekend. He does some exceptional work, but overall just doesn't deliver at the high level of play. Swag says Simelane is making quite an impression, but I'll go for Harold Foster. He's a game changer. Imagine the likes of Foster and Simelane in one team, Swag. Your hard-hitting go forward number 12, and then your twinkle toe number 13 that could really change the flow of the game. That would be quite amazing to see. You're right about Creel has been there. I don't rate him anymore, though. Don't blame him. Lukanya is hogging the spot, absolutely. And then Debeka says, well, Rowan Janssen van Rensburg is a beast in the Premiership, for far better than Francois Steyn. And if you have to select guys from overseas and not guys that hasn't represented the Boks yet, Jan Serfontein, Rowan Janssen van Rensburg, hands down. Andre Esterhuizen, hands down. Those are the guys that you want to get to really defend the line, and I think they'll shift it brilliantly into Nienaber's game plan. We're playing a defensive-minded team game plan at the moment. We've seen we didn't concede any tries against Argentina. We've conceded, I think, only 2 tries in the British and Irish Lions, 2 or 3, I think, and then previously that. So that's why I think Janssen van Rensburg, Serfontein, Andre Esterhuizen would suit brilliantly to that game plan. And if the Alendi couldn't play, and I don't know, Frankenstein, for me, sorry, he's had his time. He's didn't have too much of an impact in the game against Argentina. He did have some good moments, but I do feel that Serfontein of Van Rensburg had a massive impact. Swag says Jan Serfontein must return. He's quite good at what he's doing. And then Rowan was better than Dialendi at the same point. Any chance we get him back, there was Serfontein. So I think you guys agree with me on that one. So if they would have been here on its list, definitely straightforward, my first pick of the day. Let's see, we've had 13 votes for the next 10 to join in. Jordan Hendricks has actually won this poll, guys, so that is quite impressive. I don't think a lot of people have seen Kate Volhard play, so it's basically at that point where he will probably still get time. Chris Smith has gone in second place with 23% as well. That's quite impressive poll to differ, from my opinion, quite a bit when it comes to the selection. Although Jordan Hendricks would have been my second choice by a long run. So the next poll will be who will be the next midfielder to join Springbok camp. And we'll add there definitely Wandisile Simelane. Simelane for sure. And then the next one in line there would probably, for me, be Harold Foster. I think Harold Foster would never let the side down at any stage as well. Strong runner. Then Marius Lowe, I think, would be another option for me. Don't know about you guys. And then maybe a fourth option for me at this stage would probably be, let's add Stedman Hans. Stedman Hans, just for the fun of it, as the dark horse there. So the next poll is up, guys. So who will be the next midfielder to join? Let's see there. Swag says, I've seen what Smith can do. He might surprise us all. So who knows? Maybe with a bit of time and experience to come, Chris Smith could be the next best thing. Who knows? Sometimes take time to get there. So never surprised at all. Let's go and have a look at the wingers that we got. We're almost done for tonight, guys. So moving on to the wingers, we got Edward van der Merwe, Takir Abrams, Trevino Jacobs, Medosh Tambwe, Kurtley Arendse, Raps Maxwane. I've added Tyron Green, Edwin Keita, and then Duncan Sol. So these as the uncapped wingers. Who would you guys like to see in that call-up for the Springboks? And did I miss any players that's currently not on this list that haven't represented South Africa just yet? So we all know Edward van der Merwe has been exceptional for the Western Province. Probably one of the unlucky players not to get that call up to the Springbok camp, just to get that experience. I did feel that Japenke could probably have been dropped for Edward van der Merwe. But nevertheless, I'm sure Edward van der Merwe will get his opportunity with the Springboks at some stage. Another guy that's been really impressive has been Takir Abrams. He's just jumped on the scene. Very Colby-like is Edward van der Merwe and Takir Abrams, as well as Kurtley Arendse. So very similar to Colby. Are they Colby? Probably not. The closest to Colby, probably Edward van der Merwe, but only time will tell. Takir Abrams still very young. Edward's still very young. Kurtley's still very young. So all I know is we're truly blessed in the wing department as far as South Africans. Trevino Jacobs are your more straight runner, your stronger runner, like Medosh Tambwe. Probably a little bit stronger on defense, those two. Raps Maxwane has been brilliant for the Lions. We saw again over the weekend. Well, was it midweek, where he really destroyed the Cheetahs backline at stages. But obviously for me, Tyron Green, it's such a pity that this guy left South Africa so early. And I do feel that there is a future for Tyron Green, whether it will be on the wing or whether it will be at fullback. or even maybe at center. It's all a big question, and it's going to be up to Tyron Green and his management overseas to determine which position is his best. I know the Premiership tend to use guys like him more on the wing, but I would love to see him maybe solidify his place at center or fullback, because I don't think that he will get a place in the South African team if he have to stay on the wing. It's very much similar to Duan van der Merwe. I don't think he would have become a Springbok either way, because we have the Mapimpis and the Nkosis and the Colbys and everybody. So same maybe goes for Edwin Keita. I know he's been exceptional for the Griquas. He's played quite remarkably in that position, but maybe consider moving him to a center. I know we've got brilliant centers as well, but his chances would probably be better if he moves to the outside center. But take nothing away, exceptional player on the wing as well. Duncan Sol has played phenomenally for the Cheetahs as well, although he is probably down there at the bottom, at the back of the bottom when it comes to selecting your wingers at this stage. Let's see. I wonder where Jumbo Lingo went. He is an amazing winger. So Jumbo was a really big winger and quite exceptional player, but I don't know. He's just disappeared from the scene. I don't know if he's fighting for injury at the moment. Did he leave or what's going on? But there's some question marks around that. But I do agree he's a brilliant player. Then Raps Mxwane has so much pace. I think he's faster than Mapimpi, to be honest. Well, he is bloody fast. I saw that in the midweek game against the Cheetahs. I was quite surprised. But hey, Mapimpi is very fast, man. Nkosi is very fast. Colby is very fast. All these wingers in South Africa are really exceptionally fast. And then Jane Garner, Evan Roos, probably Newton, says Rowan, Janssen van Rensburg, and Cornel Hendricks centers. Then Kurtley Arendse will make the cut one day. He scores quite often, and he reads the game pretty well. So I'm excited for Arendse. A great future for him. Yeah, no, look, Arendse is quite impressive. I like the way he plays. So he's now back with the Bulls, and hopefully he can really make the cut in the future as well. And then Liam Rill says, Mxwane has so much pace. If Mapimpi leave, it will be a tight battle for the left wing. Could be, although there's so much talent in South Africa. Again, Mxwane needs to prove himself over the course of time, but so far it's looking pretty good for him as well. Let's see how that poll has been going, guys. We only had 9 votes for who would be the next midfielder to join the Springbok camp. So Wandisile Similani and Harold Foster, along with Stedman Gans, leading currently this race. I don't think we'll give it a little bit more time. So for that, we will end this one, and then we'll move over to the wings as well. Who will be the next wingers in line? Who will be the next wingers to Springbok camp? And we'll probably have to go there with Edwin van der Merwe, Raps, Mxwane, and then we'll probably also have to go with, I think Kurtley Arendse has potential. Kurtley Arendse, and then Madosh Tambwe has been really exceptional as well for the Bulls. And then another one from Liam says, I wonder if Yankee will return to wing when his ban is done. So I don't know if he's going to continue playing rugby. We've seen some previous rugby players make their comeback from a ban like Chili Boy Ralapele. We've had Johan Ackerman come back. So it's always a possibility. So we'll have to wait and see. I was so disappointed with Yankee when I found out that he did use banned substances and stuff. So at the end of the day, I think that's still an ongoing investigation on that. But I honestly don't see him winning that battle at any stage. And then Swag says Roscoe and Cheslin might be great winger pair. That could be a good combination in the future as well. Although I think personally we should maybe consider Cheslin. Well, no, not really. If you look at the way Apalile Fassi, Warwick Geland has come through at fullback, you'll probably try and go with each one of them as the fullback. I would have said Cheslin Colby maybe to the fullback after Willie Leroux's done, but at this stage, no necessary for that just yet. Which brings us to our fullbacks, and not a lot to pick from the youngsters coming through. David Kriel, Tian Swanepoel, Gianni Lombard, and Devin Williams. For me, out of this group, Tian Swanepoel probably the most promising out of them all, although David Kriel has been absolutely phenomenal for the Bulls. And I think it was a blessing in disguise that Gio Aplon got injured. He is past his prime, probably towards retiring. So it was really a blessing for David Kriel to get that game time that he get, which I don't think he would have gotten if Gio Aplon didn't get injured. So all hats off to David Kriel, is now probably one of the first names on the Bulls sheet. Tian Swanepoel will be one of the first names on the Lions team sheet when he's back. Gianni Lombard now obviously overseas, picking up some experience. As far as Devin Williams are concerned, I would probably say that it's very similar to Eddie Fouchier and Edwin Keita. If he ever wants to make that step up, you'll probably have to move to a different union. And given the talent that we currently have with the current crops at the Western Province, the Sharks, well, mind you, the Sharks don't have such great talent at fullback at this stage. We don't have a consistent fullback. So wouldn't be surprised if Devin Williams make the move up to the Sharks at some stage. But we'll have to wait and see. But for me, guys, I don't think I've left out any of the fullbacks that was on offer here. You can correct me if I was wrong there, but I do feel that I have mentioned most of the fullbacks available for this one. Swag says David Kriel will make the cut one day, maybe. You just need a year or two, maybe, just for the experience, but a very trusted fullback. And in Delaray Engelbrecht says David Kriel, nothing more to say about the man. Fast work rate, not scared to run into some of the big boys, and a great leader in the back line. So I think we all agree there that David Kriel will probably get the notch. But we will end this vote for the wingers. We got 10 votes. And we will move over to the fullback position. There was quite an upset here for who will be the next wingers to the Springbok camp, with Madosh Tambwe winning that one with 40%. So let's put up the last poll, guys, before we're going to pick this site that you guys have selected. Who will be the next fullback to join Springbok camp? And I'm quite surprised with some of the selections today, though there haven't been too many votes, so you can't really go by what has been said tonight. David Kriel, Tian Swanepoel, and well, we don't have much picks there. So Gianni Lombard, Gianni Lombard. Oh, my spelling is getting worse by the evening. And then also Devin Williams there. So that will be the last voting poll for tonight before we declare our Springbok side for the day. Jake Gardner says Warwick Geland. So the reason Warwick Geland is not part of this game is because he's already a capped Springbok. This is basically just for the younger generation coming through. So for that reason, Warwick Geland is not part. But I'm definitely sure that between him and Apalile Fassi will be the future number 15 for the Springboks at any given time. So you're definitely on target there when you said Warwick Geland. But as far as for the younger generation coming through, we currently only got like the likes of David Kriel, Tian Swanepoel, Gianni Lombard, and Devin Williams, really. So there's still a lot of youngsters that need to come through in that number 15. But I do believe that we are truly, truly blessed with some really good players. And it's only a matter of time before some of these guys will make the cut to that side as well. So let's go and have a look at the polls real quickly. Just want to see who the winners was in each category so that I can get that team up for you guys. So the prop forwards, well, the hooker was Johan Grobler, and the hookers were Carlos Sari and Piers Schumann. So let's just add that then. So at number 1, it would have been Piers Schumann. At number 2, let's see, it would have been Johan Grobler. That is the voting that you guys did today. Grobler at number 2, Carlos Sari at number 3. So that is quite consistent what I would have picked. Number 4 and number 5, Ruan Orkia and JD Schikkeling. So number 4, we're going to go with probably JD Schikkeling. JD Schikkeling. Oh, my spelling. Schikkeling. And then number 5 would be Ruan Norkia. Very deserving there as well. So Ruan Norkia gets the nod at 5. And then the flankers, Rijlo and Namakaba gets the nod there. So we'll probably at 6 have Namakaba. And then at number 7, Rijlo. And then number 8, your big boss, Van Roos, will be slotting in there at number 8. So let's get that up for you guys real quickly. That's the forwards that have been selected. Piers Schumann in number 1, Johan Grobler in number 2, Carlos Sari going down at number 3, JD Schikkeling at number 4, number 5, Ruan Norkia, Namakaba, Rijlo, and Van Roos. So when you look at this team lineup, it looks quite amazing. You've got Piers Schumann, who's still a youngster, but he's got a lot of experience. Johan Grobler now with the Springbok camp. Carlos Sari needs to get a little bit fitter. Schikkeling has been around. His experience counts for a lot. Ruan Norkia is coming through nicely. Namakaba is a great ball stealer with Rijlo, your attacking flanker, and then Van Roos just being your destructive number 8 at this stage. And then your number 9 we've got down there is Zach Berger, who's been selected at 9, which was quite, for me, Zach Berger was quite a surprising pick there, although I've got my personal favorite in James Hall there, so I was always a little bit, how can you say, dragged towards him. And then surprisingly, Jordan Hendricks came in at fly half. You guys decided to have him at number 10, 11. Well, the wingers was a tight one as well, with Madosh Tambwe and Edwin van der Merwe on the wings. So Edwin van der Merwe would probably have slotted in at that number 11 jersey, with Madosh Tambwe going in at that number 14 jersey. Then at number 12, we would have had Harold Forster. Number 13, Wandisile Similani, and then at 14 would have been Madosh Tambwe. And then let's see who you guys have selected as the number 15. I think it is a pretty straightforward vote. It's going to be David Kriel winning that one. So David Kriel will be slotting in at that number 15 jumper. So I'm pretty impressed with this lineup that you guys have selected today. Like I said, Piers Schumann, Johan Grobler, Carlos Sari, JD Schikkeling, Ruan Norkia, Namakaba, Rijlo, Van Roos, then backline, Zach Berger, Jordan Hendricks, Edwin van der Merwe, Harold Foster, Wanasile Simelane, Madosh Tambwe, and David Kriel. And let's be honest, this team that we've selected here could easily beat, well, a couple of international teams, and then would probably have a good run against some of the better international teams as well. So could this side have beaten the Puma side that we played against on the weekend? Probably, maybe, maybe not. But one thing we know is that we've got truly a lot of potential coming up in the future. And I've been rambling quite a bit today, guys, and I really appreciate all the support from everyone today. We've had some great comments as well. Hopefully this one will grow as the days go on. I'm planning on doing a live stream every day from now on. So it probably will grow as the time comes on. But really, again, appreciate all the support, guys. And we'll probably end it here tonight. And hopefully I will see you guys tomorrow night. And hopefully we can get a couple of collabs going throughout the week. So until then, guys, thank you for tuning in. This is the Rugby Guru. Until next time, cheers for now.